All right, now I'm going to get into psychological and mental aspects of this place we call society. Um, and I wasn't planning to talk about media, but since we had another terrorist attack today, and I'm sorry to say that there's probably going to be future terrorist events or cataclysmic events that are going to even be bigger, so I want you to be prepared. When it comes to life, and when it comes to sending prayers, for instance, like to sending prayers to the victims of the Paris attacks, everything boils down to one thing. You are either coming from and receiving from a place of fear or love. Those are the only two emotions. Another way to put it is you're either coming from and receiving from a place of low vibration or high vibration. So, everyone knows high vibration, love, peace, respect, etc. Low vibration, fear, anger, hatred, jealousy, envy, gossip. All of these things are low vibration. They put you in a fear state in your mind, a shock state in your mind. That's why the media loves to use them on billboards. It's either sex, violence, well, and then they play on things like envy, uh, you know, anger, stuff like that. It's because it puts you in that shock place in your mind, and then you will remember that. Okay, so, and why the media is so powerful is because we have a collective consciousness. This has been proven too in many ways, but in many ways. So if, for instance, we're watching the news and the Mali attacks or the Paris attacks are on the news and they're put on every news channel at the same time, well, every human being watching that is going to be like, oh, and then that fear, low vibration that they're sending off, guess what? What radio station are we all tuned to? Radio station humanity, channel humanity. So all of humanity is in fear, and then we're going to receive that within us. So we are, as a humanity, we are definitely one, you know, so we, without knowing it, we are receiving and transmitting. Same thing goes with you in your everyday life. If you're in a bad mood, well, guess what? Your child's in a bad mood after that because you're giving low vibration. And it's not just because he's reading your body language, just from the transmission of that energy alone. You don't have to say a word. He knows. He's sensing, he's feeling. He's taking in your bad low vibration. Let me take this further with children and parents. Excuse me, but this is just the truth. When you worry about your kids, you are making your kids' life worse. Why? Because you're sending negative prayer. That's all worry is. It's just negative prayer. And keep in mind, you have your conscious mind, which isn't really who you are. We are way more our subconscious, superconscious, and our heart and soul. I'll get into that next time, but because I have this other stuff to talk about. What else? Oh, and then everyone knows, if you do some research, just because I want to back this up, I'm not putting this on everyone. When I say, oh, the government or the corporations, there's good in those corporations. They help people. They are also people that are coming from a very good intention, even though they're doing maybe bad things. They come from a good place, their intentions, including the government. There's also good sides to the government. There's a breakaway government that's fighting against the quote-unquote shadow government, the cabal. So when you say the government is evil, well, you're making it worse for the people that are actually not evil, quote-unquote, that are fighting for you, and you're negating that. Just like when you say, oh, you know, Asians are smart, you know, or Asians are good at math. I'm not. So it's like, that's a judgment, and that's a low vibration too. you're taking all of infinity and collapsing it down to whatever you choose right then. So it's very powerful. What our minds think on a collective level is huge. We are co-creating reality as we go. So keep that in mind. Have respect for your mind. Have respect for all of humanity's minds, because we are vastly more powerful than we ever give ourselves credit. Let's see what else. Well, okay, and so when you back to praying for Paris or Mali, when you're in a fear state, when you're in an anger state, your prayers are not even close to being as effective. What you need to take yourself and meditate, go to a high vibration, visualize beautiful things, surround yourself with things that take you to a higher place. Then you can send a prayer, and it'll be more effective. So once again, and then you might feel guilty. Oh, I want to feel pain and sorrow for them. And then you feel guilty. Well, that's another low vibration. Break away from that. Break away from that guilt. You are really, truly only responsible for yourself. We are all one. But when it comes down to it, everyone has free will. So you can only control yourself. And I love what James Van Praagh says. What someone does to you is their karma. How you react is your karma. So really, even though we are all connected, the real only true responsibility, at least at first, you have is a responsibility to yourself. So you have to master yourself, which all of us are trying to send all these prayers out and love to other people. Well, we don't even have any knowledge of who we are. So, and we don't even love ourselves. So, it's backwards, okay? Know yourself, get to love yourself, be gentle to yourself. Then maybe you can start transmitting to other people. If you're sad about Gaia and how the Earth, or how humanity is treating Earth horribly, well, you can't, if you can, but don't, in my opinion, if you just get angry at people and, I hate, people are so stupid, blah, blah, blah. Well, you know what? You're making it worse for Gaia. Send love to her. And send love to the humans that are treating her badly. That's the only thing you can do. You can only love on them. In any situation in life, you can send the love or you can send other, which is all under the fear umbrella, all right? That's all it boils down to. You're only helping if you're sending them love and high vibration. Okay, for instance, here's another thing I did. Me and my mom were having troubles. And, she can be kind of, so instead of thinking, oh man, she's dumb, or, I wish she would change, she's blah, 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 and complaining, which makes it worse, complaints as well. So I took my screensaver for my wallpaper for my computer, and I put this picture of me and her together. And it was literally the most beautiful picture I've ever seen of her. She looked so happy. And usually in pictures, she doesn't look happy. And so there was a picture of both of us together hugging, and we looked really happy. So I put that picture as my wallpaper. So every time I looked at it, I saw my mom in a beautiful place. I saw my mom happy. I saw my mom with me happy. And guess what? I'm projecting that. If you want someone to change that's difficult in your life, the best thing you could do is lie to yourself and pretend that they are happy. Say if they're sad. Or if they're very angry, just visualize them and see them and feel them as peaceful people. And you will be helping. But when you complain and you worry, you're only making it worse. All right? And so you got to take responsibility for that. But back to the media. The media is controlled, people say 6 corporations control the media, like 237 executives. Whatever the number, a very, very small percent, like the 1%, I guess, of people are controlling the media, and then the media, in a sense, controls society. So keep this in mind. The mainstream media is not good for you. Why? Because it has their own agenda. It doesn't know who you are. It doesn't know what's good for you. All it knows is that it wants money, and it wants to make you feel insecure, angry, judgmental, afraid, etc. Why? Because then there's a lack, you feel a lack in your life, and then so you have to go buy stuff, you have to, you know, go to them as your savior. If people were really happy and whole and were as complete as they really are deep inside, but we were out of tune with that, well, guess what? We wouldn't need the media. We wouldn't need TV. We wouldn't need movies. We wouldn't need mainstream radio and all that, because we would be completely content, and then we wouldn't need nothing. You just find that joy and love deep inside of yourself that is the most fulfilling thing ever. You find the God within, and you wouldn't need to find all of these gods outside of you. The God of gangster rap, the God of movies, the God of TV shows. I'm not saying all of them are bad, but believe me, there's an agenda. You can find your own ways to entertain yourself. And let me remind you that the most healthy thing that any human being, especially in the Western world, can do is meditate. Why? Because you're doing nothing. You're unlearning. You're getting rid of all the noise and psychic poisons inside of you. And then you can finally hear yourself for the first time, suddenly. You don't even know what you're telling yourself, because there's so much noise from the media, billboards, commercials, mainstream radio, mainstream TV, mainstream movies. I know we love it, but just because you love something doesn't mean it's good for you. It's like that one lover you had, remember? You might like it, but it's twisted. So, there you go. Mainstream media as a whole is not good for you. The 1% is controlling that 99% of the media that's bad for you.